Yeah, hello everyone. Today we are discussing about a new topic called as serial data communication. So already we discussed earlier the parallel data communication. So different types of the controllers, parallel data controllers we are having. In that we have seen there are synchronous, so parallel data transmitter. So here what is the difference between the parallel data and serial data here? So in the case of the parallel data, so we were using many number of lines to transfer the data, but whereas in the case of the serial data, we have only one number of line is present. So on that line only we are transferring the data serially, so one bit after another one. But in the case of parallel data, it is a we can transfer the data at a time. So all the number of bits that can be transferred at a time, that means it takes somewhat less time to transfer the data. But whereas in the case of the serial data, it takes some time to transfer from transmitter to the receiver. So it is the fastest way of transmitting data within the microcomputer. That is what is that parallel data transfer. But for the transferring the data over long distances, here the parallel data transmission is requiring many number of lines here. So for that case of, in the case of that over what is that to transfer the data over long distances, so here we are using the one more data communication technique, that is called as serial data communication technique. So here for a long distance transmission, the data is we are converting that parallel data into the serial form, so that it can be sent on a single wire or a pair of wires. That means serial data communication is the advantageous technique for long distance transmission. So serial data received from a distant source is converted into parallel form, so that it can be easily transferred on the microcomputer buses. So here what is the case here? Before transmitting the data from transmitter to the receiver, so in the transmitter we are converting that parallel data into serial data, and that serial data is transferred to the through a source into the to the receiver. So at the receiver we are converting that serial form of data into the parallel form of data, so that it can be transferred on the microcomputer buses very easily. So here we are having different types of the serial data communication techniques are present. So in this case we are using three main topics called as simplex, half duplex and full duplex transmission. So here these three terms are used as in literature of communication systems. So here there are three communication systems we are using. So they are called as simplex, half duplex and full duplex. So what is a simplex, half duplex and full duplex? We will discuss here. So a simplex data line can transmit data only in one direction. That means by using that simplex data communication technique, so we can transfer the data. We can transfer the data on a single line, only one direction only. That is possible. That is from transmitter to receiver or receiver to transmitter. That means data from sensors to processor and commercial radio stations are examples of the simple transmission. So simplex transmission examples here we have seen this sensors to processors and from the commercial radio stations. So when we see that commercial radio stations, we will get only the output. That means only one way communication. When they talk here in this case from the radio stations, we will just listen from our receivers. That means only one type of communication is present. So whereas in the case of half duplex, the transmission, that means the communication can take place in either direction between two systems, but can occur only in one direction at a time. That means here we can transfer the data between the two devices, but only one direction of data only can be possible. That means one device to another device, from the what is the sender to receiver. Otherwise what is the receiver to sender also, what is the we can transfer the data, but when we are transferring the data from sender to receiver, it cannot be possible. That means only one direction of data at a time can be possible by using the half duplex communication. So the example for the half duplex transmission is a two-way radio system where one user always listens while the other talks, because the receiver circuitry is tuned off during transmission. Here in the case of the half duplex, we are using this two-way radio systems here. So two subscribers, when two users are using this radio system, so one user is always listening that, and so the other one is talking. Okay, so that means only one direction of data can be transmitted. Next one, the third one, what we are having, that full duplex transmission. So full duplex transmission means that each system can send and receive data at the same time. That means two cases of two ways of data transmission is possible, sender to receiver, receiver to sender, that we can transmit the data both ways at the same time. So here a normal phone conversion, that is the example for the best example for the full duplex operation. So these are the three communication techniques what we are using: simplex, half duplex and full duplex. Simplex means only one direction of data transfer, and half duplex means one direction at a time, only in one direction at a time we can transfer the data. So after completion of that one, we can transmit from the other direction. Full duplex means here we can transmit the data in the both the ways. Two ways of communication can be possible by using the full duplex transmission mode at a time. So here synchronously or asynchronously data transmission. So here we are having that the pulse wave transmission is given here. So here it is a bit format used for sending asynchronous serial data. For example, when we have taken this data of 8 bits, so first what is that we are using the start bit we are using. So before before and after that data, so we are adding some more bits here. So the first start bit is always low here, and so after that we are sending the data bits D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5 and D6. So for the D7 bit we are using one more bit is adding, that is called as parity bit. So total 8 bits are present after the start bit. So after that parity bit we are using the stop bits. Two stop bits are we are using. These two stop bits are also always high here. So this is a total of one character. So the one character is consisting of all these start bit, actual data bits, parity bit, two stop bits. So this is the basic format for sending the asynchronous serial data. So what is this synchronously or asynchronously data transmission? So serial data can be sent synchronously or asynchronously. So in the case of the synchronous transmission, data transmitted in block at a constant rate. That means some block of data, some number of data bits can be transferred at a constant rate. In the case of the synchronous transmission, the start and end of a block are identified with the specific bytes or bit patterns. So that means in the case of the synchronous transmission, as we have seen earlier, so here it is containing what is that start and stop bits are present. Start and stop bits are present between the specific bytes or bit patterns. So whereas in the case of asynchronous transmission, data is transmitted one by one. So one after another one, the number of bits are transmitting. Each data has a bit which identify its start and one or two bits which identify its end. Since each data is individually identified, data can be sent at any time. So that means start and stop bits are also present. One or two, one start bit is present and one or two end bits are present here in this case to identify individual data here. In this case we can transmit the data at any time. So that is a format what we have seen used for the transmitting of asynchronous serial data. So a device such as Intel 8251A, so which can be programmed to do either asynchronous or synchronous communication, that is often called as USART. That means by using this one of the device USART, we can transmit the data synchronously and asynchronously, the serial communication. So this USART is, that is called as universal synchronous asynchronous receiver transmitter. So you can perform both synchronous and asynchronous operations by using this device USART. So the chip number for this one is called as 8251A. So a device such as the national INS 8250, which can also do asynchronous communication, that is often referred as universal asynchronous receiver transmitter. That means here only asynchronous data can be transmitted at a time. So we cannot use that synchronous, what is it, we cannot use this device to send the synchronous type of the data. So for both the cases we are using the USART here, that is 8251A, universal synchronous asynchronous receiver and transmitter. So when we see that function of the Intel 8251A, so here it is a programmable communication interface that is used for serial data communication. So it is a programmable chip designed for synchronous and asynchronous data communication, so packaged in a 28-bit DIP. So you have to remember this 8251 is a 28-pin IC chip, so present in DIP dual in line package. It is a universal synchronous asynchronous receiver transmitter. So in the name itself we are having USART. It is compatible with all the microprocessor 8085, 8086, 8088 and 8748 system. The 8251 can be used to transmit or receive serial data. So already we have seen that 8251 is we can use to transmit and receive the serial data. So in the two forms called as synchronous and asynchronous form. So when we see the functions of the USART, so it acts as a mediator between microprocessor and peripheral to transmit serial data into parallel form and vice versa. So in between the microprocessor and the other peripheral, so we are using this USART. So that means at the sending one, what is that, we are transmitting the serial data, we are converting the parallel into serial. So in the transmitter we are transmitting the serial data into the parallel data. So at the receiver we are converting that the total parallel data into the serial data. So it takes data serially from the peripheral and converts into parallel data. So already we know that after converting the data into parallel form, it transmits to the CPU. So similarly it receives the parallel data from the microprocessor and converts it into the serial form. So after converting the data into serial form, it transmits into the outside peripheral. Okay. So here in these cases, so in all these cases, what is it? We are having that conversion. We are converting the data, so from the serial data into parallel data and parallel data into serial data. So first we are converting that serial data, that is taking from the peripheral into the parallel data, and after conversion, so what is that, parallel data into the serial data at the outside of the peripheral. So both the types of the conversions are possible here, serial into parallel and parallel into serial. So when we see the block diagram of the USART, so here we have seen that different blocks are present here. The left side are we are having the data bus buffer, read write control logic, modem control, and the right side one we are having a transmitter and receiver. So the transmitter section is consisting of the two blocks called as transmit buffer and transmit control, and receiver section also having the two blocks called as receive buffer and receive control. So the block diagram shows all the elements of a programmable chip. It includes the interfacing signals, the interfacing signals and control register and status register. So here we are having the data bus buffer that is containing the total 8 bits are present, D0 to D7, and the read write control logic is having the pins called as reset pin, clock signal, CY D bar and RD bar and WR bar. So RD bar and WR bar is the read signal and write signal, active low signals, and CS bar is the chip select signal. So modem control we are having that 4 signals are present for sending and receiving, and for the transmit buffer, so we are using that transmit signal. For the transmit control we are using that 3 signals: transmit ready, transmit TXC and TXC. So receive control, in the receiver section also receive buffer is there and receive control. So if you see the transmit buffer, in the transmit buffer we are converting that parallel into serial form, and in the receive buffer we are converting serial into parallel form. So you will see all these signals here. So what is my data bus buffer? So this block helps in interfacing the internal data bus of the 8251 to the system data bus. That is, we can connect total 8 number of data bits can be so transmitted at a time from the other peripherals. The data transmission is possible between 8251 and the CPU by the data bus buffer block. That means we can transmit the data between 8251 and the other microprocessor or other devices, that means CPU, by using this data bus buffer. So here for the by using the read write control logic, so it is a control block for overall the device. It controls the overall working by selecting the operation to be done. That means to read or write operation, to what is that, to select the chip signal, chip select signal, different types of the operations for read or write operations. So here we are using one of the signal called as R by W. R means read and W means write control signal, that is including 6 input signals, control logic, and 3 buffer registers are also present here. So the 6 input signals what we are using, so that is called as CS. So this chip select signal is an active low signal, and so one more is called as C by D bar. It is called as control or data signal. So WR bar, it is a write signal. RD bar is the read signal. So reset operation, for the reset, to clear all the registers we are using the reset. And the clock signal is used of CLK with a clock freak signal. Okay, we are using the clock frequencies. So by using the clock frequencies we can operate the different types of the operation. We are giving the clocks to the all the blocks of the 8251 here. So the operation selection depends upon the input signals. So here we are using those input signals. Based on the input signals we are performing these type of the operations. So CS bar, C by D bar, RD bar and WR bar we are using. When CS bar is equals to 1, remain or don't care condition, that means either they are 0 or 1, so it is the invalid operation. That means when CS bar is equals to 1 means CS is equals to 0, that means chip selecting, we are not selecting the chip here. So that means only CS bar is equals to 0 only we can perform all the operations here. So when it is 0 and remaining all are 0, 0, 1, so we are performing the data operation, that is from 8251 to the CPU. So we are writing, we are reading and controlling that data. So controlling and reading that data here, that means 8251 to CPU. When it is 0010, so that means write operation. So we are writing the data from CPU to 8251, we are writing the data. When the other case 0101, so we are writing the status word from 8251 to CPU. We are writing status word when RD bar is equals to 0 here. So when WR bar only is equals to 0, that means 0110, we are writing that control word, from CPU to the 8251 here. So in this way, so this unit selects one of the 3 registers. So like data registers or status word register or control word register. So by using the signals, different types of the input signal operations: data bus buffer register, control register, and a status register. So next one we are using modem control. So modem, already we know that modem means modulator or demodulator. So here a device which converts analog signals into digital signals and digital to analog, that means vice versa, and helps the computers to communicate over telephone lines or cable wires. So here modem is the device which is used to convert analog into digital or digital to analog signals here. That is also used on communication between the computers to the other devices over the telephone lines or cable lines. So what are those modem signals consist of here? So here we are having all the active low pins of the modem are present. Those are called as DSR bar and DTR bar and CTS bar and RTS bar. So what is DSR bar? So data set ready signal. So it is the input signal what we are using. Data set ready. DTR is called as data terminal ready. So it is the output signal. Next CTS bar, it is the input signal which controls the data transmit circuit. For the transmission we are using this. Next RTS bar means it is the output signal which is used to set the status of the transmission receiving circuit. So here the four active low input signals are present connected between the internal data bus and modem of the 8251. Those are called as DSR bar, DTR bar, CTS bar and RTS bar. Data set ready signal, data terminal ready signal. So the input signal which controls and the output signal which is used to set the status. Next, in the case of the transmitter section, so transmitter is accepting the parallel data from the microprocessor unit and converting them into serial data. So already we have seen in the diagram P to S, that means converting from the parallel data parallel data form into the serial data form. So it has two registers called as transmit buffer register and a transmit control register. The transmitter section has three output signals and one input signal. So you have to remember here. So basically transmitter section is dividing into two registers, transmit buffer register and a transmit control register. So it has three output signals and one input signal is present, one input and three outputs. So when we see the transmit buffer register, so this block is used for parallel to serial converter that receives a parallel byte for conversion into serial signal and further transmission onto the common channel. So the first action that is performing by the transmit buffer is conversion of parallel data form into the serial data form. Next, the signal what we are using, that is TXT, that is called as transmitter data. So it is the output signal. So if its value is 1, means transmitter will transmit serial data on this line. So it is a transmitting the TXT value is equals to 1. So we are transmitting the data. Which type of data? Serial data on that line. So next one we are having transmit control line, control block register. So it is used to control the data transmission with the help of the three pins called as TX RDY, that is called as transmitter ready. TX means transmitter, RDY that is the ready signal. So this is the active output signal here. When it is high, it is indicating that buffer register is empty and the USART is ready to accept a byte. The signal is reset when a data byte is loaded into the buffer. When it is goes high, TX RDY transmitter ready is high, that means all the buffer register that is empty and the USART is ready to accept the byte here. So next signal TXE. So it is also the output signal, that is transmitter empty signal it is. So when it is high, that means it is indicating that the output register is empty here. The signal is reset when a byte is transferred from the buffer to the output register. So these signals are going to low when we are transmitted the data. So here when we are transferring the data from buffer to the output register, the TXE signal is goes to low, and when we are
transmitter loading the data byte into the buffer, TX ready, transmitter ready goes to low. Next one we are having TXC, it is called as transmitter clock. So it is active low input pin. So this input signal controls the rate at which bits are transmitted by the user. To convert, to control the rate of transmission also we are using clock frequency, that is transmitter clock frequency, TXC. Next, in the case of receiver section also same as the transmitter section, we are having the receiver section is present. So the receiver accepts the serial data on the RxD line from a peripheral and converts them into the parallel data. So already we have seen the transmitter section is converting that parallel data into serial form, and it is transmitting, and the receiver is receiving that serial data form, and it is converting that serial form into the parallel data. So it has same as the transmitter section, it also has two registers called as receive buffer register and receive control register. So receive buffer register, so this block acts as a buffer between buffer for the received data. So here also we are using some of the signals called as RxD. RxD is called as receiver, Rx is receiver, so D is called as data. So it is the active input signal. Bits are received serially on this line and converted into receive buffer register. That means we are converting this serial, what we are receiving the data, that is received by this receive buffer, and converting stored into that receive buffer register. So one more section in the receive control, that is we are having in the receiver section we are using receive control is present. This block controls the receiving data with the help of the pins called as Rx, RDY and RxC. Rx, RDY already we know. Rx means receiver, RDY means ready, receiver ready signal. So this is the output signal. It goes high when the USART has a character in the buffer register and is ready to transfer it to the microprocessor. When the buffer is loaded with that received data, then this pin is going to high, that is receiver ready is equals to 1. This line can be used either to indicate the status or to interrupt the microprocessor unit. The status, it is indicating the status line of the 8251 here. Next signal we are having that same as in the transmitter section, transmitter clock is present. So here also we are using one more clock called as receiver clock, RxC. So this is a clock signal that controls the rate at which bits are received by the USART. Same how the transmitter is controlling that rate, data rate to transmit. Here also the receiver clock is controlling the data rate to receive that data by the USART. So in the asynchronous mode, the clock rates can be set to 116 or 64 times of the baud rate. So one more signal we are using, that is SYN DET or BT. It is called as it is acting as either input or output bit. So synchronous data, synchronous detection or baud rate here. It is an external synchronous mode input terminal and asynchronous mode output terminal. So in the case of synchronous mode, it is acting as the input terminal, and for the asynchronous mode of transmission, it is acting as the output terminal. So these are the different blocks those are that are present in the block diagram of the 8251. So 8251 is called as universal synchronous asynchronous receiver transmitter. So the different sections we are having, those are data bus buffer, read write control logic, modem control is present, and between the two sections we are using the internal data bus. On the right side we are using the transmit buffer and transmit control. Transmitter section is dividing into two parts, receiver section is divided into two parts called as transmit buffer and transmit control. The transmit buffer, it is converting parallel data form into serial data. And next, in the case of this receiver section, receive buffer is present and receive control is there. The receive buffer is converting that serial data form into the parallel data form. So here we can use, by using this USART, we can transmit and receive the data synchronous form and asynchronous form at a time. So that's why, so we are using the USART. In the name itself we are having universal synchronous asynchronous receiver transmitter. It is given by the chip number called as Intel 8251A. Thank you.